Welcome to the Volatile podcast, your weekly reminder that being a Vols fan is a terminal diagnosis that we all share. Thanks for being with us this week. We are down to 2. Times are hard in Vols country. It's portal season. We're losing guys that we didn't even think we were losing. Our basketball team is pitiful, and we've lost our 2 comrades, Mac and Joe. Mac is down for the count. He is sick, and our buddy Joe has had a family loss, and so we are mourning with him. Fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, if you listen to us and you're out there, you pray for Joe's family. They're having a tough week this week, so hopefully he'll be back very soon. But and you pray for our buddy Mac too. He's not feeling good, so they are both with us. They are both still just terminal. But they will be back. So, Jeff,
Mac
how are you doing
have
tonight?
An aggravated case. Yeah, I'm doing okay, man. Mac must have an aggravated case after watching the Florida game. It took him down, man. The immune system couldn't handle it.
Yeah, if the Florida game didn't do him in, probably watching all of those clinker free throws against A&M put him the rest of the way under. So,
man, I legitimately had forgotten about that. I think I may need to bow out. I think I'm feeling sick.
Okay, I'm flying solo.
You're the Marco Rubio of the Volatile podcast. You just handle
it. Yeah, look at me, Vol Nation. I am captain now. Oh gosh. So we're here. Jeff and I are here. We are going to be talking about what's going on in the University of Tennessee football and basketball world this week. So, Jeff, let's start with some of our latest news. Of course, it's all transfer portal all the time right now. Changes by the minute. You and I both like to listen to other Vols podcasts, and those guys are constantly saying, "I'm recording this at 8:58 a.m. on a Tuesday, and it'll probably change before this comes out in a few hours." So things could change even before we're done as well. But nevertheless, here's what's been going on. So everybody wants to know about quarterback. What's Tennessee going to do for a quarterback? I assume we'll camp here for a while, but Sam Leavitt, not without Josh Heupel's effort, is gone to LSU. And I guess Bo Pribula, make sure I say that right, he was also a possibility. I think he visited. I think you mentioned that offline, and he's ended up at UVA. And so we can talk about those 2 guys and how that all went down. And then the big question is, like, where do we go from here? Who's left? What is the plan? So
what do you think about that? If anyone knows the plan, there's probably a pretty rich bounty that Vol Twitter could scratch together to pay you for it.
Yeah.
I guess, Nick, the thing I'd ask you is, with Leavitt and Pribula, are you upset we didn't land them? One of them? Either one of them?
Yeah. Pribula, I'm not super upset. I thought he was very okay this year. But if my options are Pribula and if my options are Pribula or Joey, I definitely would take Joey, especially in year 2. With Pribula and the new guys, I probably still lean new guys. I mean, Sam Leavitt's probably got more talent than all those other guys, but the thing with Sam is I would not have wanted him at the alleged, basically $7 million that was offered to him by the University of Tennessee. So I was both encouraged and freaked out by that number all at the same time, because I was like, hey, we're willing to spend money. But then also, freaking out that we almost spent $7 million on Sam Leavitt. So,
yeah, right.
But, yeah, I mean, at this point, at those numbers, I'm like, let's just ride with Joey or the young guys, I guess. I guess that's the plan.
Yeah. Well, we're thinking about it pretty much the same. If Leavitt had signed with us, I'd talk myself into it. But there's a lot of rumors that he's just not – I mean, there's a rumor that Kenny Dillingham kicked him off the team because he played he got hurt playing a intramural basketball game in the middle of the season. And if that's true, man, we've just had too much Boo Carter for me to take another idiot, particularly at the most important position. That Liz Frank injury he's got, I mean, he's got screws in his foot. He would not be ready for spring practice.
Yeah.
And so, if we got him $3 million, something like that, about half of what is reported that he commanded, or that Ty Simpson or some of these other big guys were kind of commanding. I would see that as a value get, basically, and it would leave you room for the
Yeah,
rest of the
sure.
roster. But just like you said, at that price point, I'm okay. A guy who's
Yeah,
still hurt, maybe immature, and I mean, Lane will do well with him. Lane's a good quarterback coach, so if it can go well, it'll probably go well for him at LSU. I'm just not broken up about it.
sure.
Um, the the Pribula thing. So when we went into the portal season, Mac would probably tell you I'm crazy for this. You may think I am too, but I would have had DJ Lagway labeled as do not take under any conditions. I
Yeah.
just don't think that guy's good. I just don't want to get near him for any amount of money. And I never would have thought Pribula would be on our radar, but if I thought he would be, I would have said the same thing. I just don't think I think he's like a worse version of Joe Milton in terms of his football IQ, and he's
Hmm.
not got Joe's rocket arm. He can run a little, but every time I've watched him play, I've watched, the pocket breaks down. He has no awareness of it. He makes some dumb throw, or his arm's not strong enough to get it there with velocity. I just don't think he brings a lot to the table. He seems to me like a quarterback who should be playing at Virginia, and I'm saying that as like a guy who doesn't think of Virginia as good as they probably are. They may beat us if
Right.
we played them this year, but yeah, he should be a lower tier quarterback, and I didn't want him near the program, so I'm definitely not upset about that.
Yeah, I think you're right about Lagway and Pribula. And I mean, with the portal, the proof is kind of in the pudding. Like if you don't get a guy and he goes to LSU, it's like, okay, Sam Levitt's probably, I mean, and we all know this, right? Like Sam Levitt's probably pretty good. But like with Pribula and Lagway, it's like they landed at UVA, and did Lagway land at Baylor? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
And so the proof's kind of there. It's not like those programs have never had any good football teams, but year in and year out, they're not up to the snuff of course, SEC football. I mean, and so it kind of feels like, I'd just rather have Joey than two guys that are only going to play at Baylor and UVA, you know?
Yeah. There's this narrative on ball Twitter that Lane Kiffin flew into Knoxville and punked Josh Heupel. And like you said, I was really glad that UT came back with a big boy offer because it shows our program can do that when we will want to, which is something I was questioning. But I honestly think that probably more represented desperation on Kiffin's part,
Yeah,
that he knew he's supposed to be Mr. Portal. And I think he knew he needed to make a big splash. And so I'm not super. I don't even care that like he flew into Knoxville and signed Sam Levitt. That's fine, man. Do whatever you need to
sure,
do.
sure.
Now they did sign that USC transfer quarterback too, who was like a
Yeah,
former
super
5-star
interesting. Super interesting.
and had already brought another quarterback in. It's just like he's just decided to capture the whole market, so nobody else can do it.
How's that going to play, though? Don't you think that's like immediate potential cancer for your football team?
Well, I think if you're Lane Kiffin, what you're telling the USC kid is, look what I did with Chambliss. Give me a year, you know,
Yeah,
let Levitt play. I'll get him to the NFL, and then you'll have a year under my system, and it'll be a house on fire. And
yeah.
apparently, the kid bought it.
He's a good salesman. There's no doubt about it. Lane Kiffin is a good salesman. Uh,
Just don't rent him a car. Don't rent a car to him. Uh,
can't trust him. There was this old feller in a church that I went to when I was about 14, and he used to come by and shake my hand during the fellowship time, and he'd say, "Boy, I don't feel like I can trust you in an outhouse with a muzzle on." And that's the way I feel about Lane Kiffin.
that's for sure. That's for sure. That's the Lane Kiffin principle.
I am more trustworthy than Lane Kiffin. I am more
Yes,
trustworthy.
I'll second that slightly. Degree maybe. I know this isn't what we're talking about, but did you see that Dante Moore has decided he's going to go back to Oregon?
Yeah, and so Raviola or whatever his name is out.
Yes,
Rayola, how do you say his name?
Raiola. That's right, but I think
Okay,
it should be Ravioli. And he was signed to Oregon for like 48 hours before he went back into the transfer portal.
there's no rules. There's clearly no rules. It's chaos. Yeah,
I don't. I think that will probably raise some speculation. If you think Tennessee is in desperation for a quarterback, I think that'll raise speculation that they'll bring him in. I've
yeah,
said it before on here. That guy is part of Nico's incoming class,
Yep.
and that whole class has been a train wreck. And
Yeah. Not
so
very good.
if Heupel goes and tried to get him, it would surprise me, and I'd have to trust Heupel, But I also think that hopping back and forth from the program and all this stuff, like I just think stay away, man.
Yeah.
I'd rather roll with their guys.
Yep. Me too. I think at this point, with who is left out there, I think the plan. It seems we talked about this a few weeks ago that the plan is either go out and get a big splash quarterback, or maybe bring in some kind of more graduate transfer, gas pipe style guy. I think that's still possible. I think there's maybe someone out there that they kind of add for depth. Um, and then you hope Joey gets his waiver, which we were supposed to hear Monday. We've supposed to
Yeah.
have heard like every 3 days for the last month.
Yeah, the new
But
update on that is that they've pushed it back 2 to 3 weeks. So like now it's pretty far out there.
yeah. So even if Joey can't come back, GMAC has shown promise. Faison is supposed to be Faison, and so if you're Josh Heupel, you set those guys down and say, "Hey, you get an opportunity that not a lot of true and redshirt freshmen have in this day and age. You get a chance to be a start quarterback in the SEC, and you see hopefully one of them rises to the occasion." So
Yeah. Now there's that kid at Western Carolina that I've talked myself into.
yeah, tell the listeners a little bit about him.
Well, I was texting y'all all about him last night, and I right now can't remember his name. But the deal with him is he threw it all over the FCS last year. He can run. Now the problem with him is he's 5'11", but as a
Yeah,
guy
he's
who
tiny.
watched, yeah, a guy who watched Diego Pavia be very successful, I'm not stressed about that at all. Um, the issue there though is I think if you bring that guy in, he's looking to move up a level as a starter, right? He's dominated the FCS, and he's now going to try to go prove himself at power school. I don't know if he would sign up for like, well, you get to compete with GMAC and Faison. Joey might be back eventually, but we're going to give you a legitimate shot to win the job. I just don't know if he would do that.
Right.
Uh, I would like it if he did, but I don't know if he would.
I remember I was trying to find his exact size. I know you sent it because I remember when I saw it, I was thinking that sounds like Squirrel White playing quarterback.
Yeah, I think he is listed at 5'11", and that's one of those like in platform heels
It's
kind of
like very
deals.
generous.
Yeah. Speaking of size, while you're looking, there's a picture going around that on Twitter of GMAC with like 5 of our returning wide receivers. They're
Mm-hmm.
down in Florida working on passing stuff, and that's like awesome. That's the kind of
Let's go.
leadership you want to see. But dude, he is so scrawny.
I
I
know,
mean,
dude.
he's scrawny like I'm scrawny. You know what I mean? Just make you worry if he's sick. Why are you laughing?
I worry about you.
Oh, is the video on?
Yeah, I worry about you.
I'm wormy, but I mean,
I worry.
he. I heard
Teron Dickens.
yeah, there we go. Taryn Dickens, bring me Taryn Dickens. Somebody reached out to him on DM and said, "You coming to the Vols, man?" He's like, "Have them reach out to me." So I don't think there's been a lot of movement on that front.
Apparently, there's not a lot going on there.
Uh, Now,
Oh
okay, let me
gosh,
pitch you this. Let's say, and we're going to get to this in just a moment on the outline, but
5 foot
I,
11, 180 pounds. My grief. Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's about the size I was when I was about seventh grade.
that's my left leg, man. Actually, not height wise. Actually, no, I can't say that, but that's about the weight of my left leg. Um, if you think GMAC, he loves the university, he's going to give it his all, right?
Yep.
One of the guys on VolQuest said the big question for him is, can he add 15 to 20 pounds this offseason?
Yep.
It's insane, but it's doable. We've seen guys
Mm-hmm.
build their body, right? If that's what's going on, and as I was starting to say, I'm pretty happy, like legitimately happy about how the defensive side of the ball has developed from the transfer portal.
Yep.
So would you be comfortable? And I mean, I guess I shouldn't ask that because we'll all talk ourselves into it. But what I think they basically have is Nico's physical silhouette back at quarterback with GMAC. You would have in this scenario, you would have a great defense on the other side of the ball for him. And you would have, and this is the big question to me. You would have Deshaun Bishop to be the workhorse of the offense and Braylon Staley, right? And so you're kind of coming back to the blueprint of the team that went to the college football playoffs.
Right.
He's a redshirt freshman. He's scrawny, but right, you can do all of this.
Yeah.
You're hoping that the difference is GMAC can think his way out of a tic-tac-toe game in a way Nico couldn't. But I mean, how scale of 1 to 10, how hard would it be to talk you into like, okay, we're just going back to the last time we went to the playoffs and we're going to see if it works?
Yeah. I mean, right now it's like a 6.5, but I mean, by next July it'll be like a 9.
Yeah. That's why it was a dumb question for me. Like, but I mean, I kind of wonder if that's what the leader in the clubhouse for their plan next year is. And the issue for me, I love Deshaun Bishop. I just don't know that he's Dylan Sampson.
Sure.
And there's not Peyton Lewis behind him. Like, I just don't love our depth at running back. So who knows what will come out of the portal for that.
Yep.
So it just feels a little bit more risky.
Yeah, there definitely was more depth in most offensive positions on the 24 team. I mean, Deshaun's great, but he's definitely not, in my opinion, Dylan Sampson talent-wise. And you just got to wonder, he's just so tough. Like, how hardy is he when he's getting 75-80% of the carries? Can he hold up down the stretch? You know, I mean, it's really kind of like, what's he look like in November? I think we'll be like, yep, that's Deshaun in September and October, and then by the time leaves start falling off the trees, he might be a walking dead man. You know, just all bruised and banged up. So,
and the only back on the roster is Morris, who's tiny. You know, it just feels a little bit more. I don't know. I'm probably a little less than 6, but it may legitimately be what we're looking at doing.
Yeah. No, there's definitely going to be fragility there. You know, it's they did what we thought. If they couldn't get the big quarterback, they clearly went out and spent a bunch of money on defense. And so I think that's a pretty good segue to talk about some of the new additions, and then we'll talk about our one new loss after that. So new additions since our last pod, there are many.
There's a lot of them.
We got Xavier Gilliam, defensive tackle. Cooper Ranvier is a kicker. I think he's from Louisville. First comment I saw on the transfer post was a Louisville fan saying he's basically the oh gosh, I've already forgot his name. What's our guy that went to Arkansas? Can't even remember his name.
Oh yeah, Max.
Oh yeah, he said he's basically the Max Gilbert of Louisville. So that did not inspire a lot of hope. But hopefully that's just Twitter trolling. So,
well, let me jump in real quick on that one, just real fast to that Max Gilbert point. So the kid kicked some really lengthy kicks last year, and he had a really high field goal percentage.
Yeah,
but he missed like 2 or 3 extra points.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I don't understand missing extra points. I have no idea what we're getting into with this.
Yeah, I don't either. He seems like kind of I mean, just look at a headshot of him, you're like, that guy looks like he could be a little bit of trouble, you know? So we'll see.
That's a new variant for the Vols. Like the locker room cancer is the kicker.
Yeah. It would be the most Tennessee thing ever. Everything else works out. Defense is great. GMAC is like pretty good, you know, throwing it around, and the team falls apart because the kicker's just like the Dennis Rodman of college football, you know.
Yeah, just stealing stuff out of the locker and everything.
Yeah,
that would be that'd be new. It would be something new.
Yeah, it would be new. King Mac, safety, King Mac. Not to be
we know who the real King Mac is.
Yeah, I was about to say not to be confused with our own King Mac. Amari Campbell, linebacker. Chaz Coleman, defensive end, who is largely considered the crown jewel of the class, was the number one edge in the portal. DeJuan Lane at safety. Gavin Freeman, wide receiver.
I'm buying stock in Gavin Freeman, baby.
Looked like a younger version of myself. It was wonderful.
Yes, yes, just as tattooed up. I mean, it's remarkable. You may
Yeah.
have the same tattoos.
Hey, the viewers and listeners don't know what's under this sleeve. They have no idea. Um, Jordan Norman, an edge guy, and then TJ Metcalf, safety. So, hearing that list, what are your thoughts? What gets you excited individually, and then you can kind of think about it corporately. I think too would be helpful.
Well, what gets me excited now? We talked off air, and we'll probably talk about this more. Chas Coleman's the big jewel, right? But what corporately gets me excited is the Penn State transfers. So we took 4 of them, and look, Mac has done this in some group chats. It's not like Penn State had a great year last year, right? Their defense wasn't superb.
No.
Uh, that said, we got the best of what they had. So I'm
Yep.
happy to take that as a talent infusion. Like you take any major D1 program and you say, well, let me take 4 of your top 9 players, you're going to get better, even if that team was terrible. But what we talked about with Jim Knowles, it's just common wisdom is that his defenses take a while to get up to speed and that
Yep.
we can bring in a big block of these guys who already know the system. I think that's a huge leg up, assuming that Jim Knowles, by waking up in the morning and tying his shoes, is going to do better than Tim Banks. It helps us to ramp that process up. And the safety kid, I guess it would be King Mac. I'm not. It might be Dewan Lane. I wish it was clear in my head, but whichever one of them came from Penn State is known to have been the guy who lined them up on the second level, and I think that's super important. So yeah, it's the block that has me excited. Even though I don't want to be the Tennessee Nittany Lions, I'm still very excited that we jumped the growth plan on our new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I echo everything you just said. I also, a couple things too. It was just obvious that we needed safety help bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's 3 new safeties that seem to be quality players.
Dude,
I'm not
TJ
saying
Metcalf is a dog.
he's a
I'm
dog.
super excited about him.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a beast. Um, and also, this is going to be a little sunshine pumping here. But even though Penn State did decline in defense from their previous couple of years, like they were like top 10 a couple of years before Knowles came there, and then I think they were 37th this last year. But like, I'd kind of kill for 37th ranked defense right now.
100%. I, I don't want to go crazy because I think we've all kind of settled into the offense was the biggest problem last year, even if the defense was down. Like we needed more from the offense.
Yeah,
But it's just hard not to believe that we might not win a couple extra games and be more in the hunt. Maybe not in the hunt, but more in the hunt
yeah,
if our defense could give us a couple more breaks. I mean,
sure,
well, to go back to what we talked about earlier, we've seen a less than stellar offense with a great defense get Tennessee to the playoffs, get destroyed in the playoffs, but get destroyed by the eventual national champions. We'd all sign up for that again, right? Like after last year, we would all trade for that.
yep,
So I'm buying the sunshine.
yeah. I agree. I don't think there's really any negatives. I, well, I think there are no major red flags here. I think the biggest negative is, yeah, Penn State's defense wasn't that good, but Penn State's defense was significantly better than ours last year.
Mhm.
So I don't really think. I think this is a step in the right direction. I think we can
Yeah,
at least say
I am I'm totally like beyond happy with the way the defense played out. And I don't know a ton about him, but I've watched all the clips they've put up. I really think that Jordan Norman guy could, it kind of broke our hearts. Josh Josephs graduated, he left, and then Jordan Ross leaves as kind of the young developmental guy. I'm really excited for Jordan Norman. He gets after it. I know it's Tulane, but college programs can send extra blockers.
that. Yep.
And I just have to believe that ability will translate. And I'm pretty excited about him too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that things are looking up for the defense, and I think things are looking not as great for the offense, which brings us to our next point, which is that we do have another loss in the transfer portal. We have young Jack Van Dorselaer um, entering the transfer portal. most most notably will be remembered in his Tennessee career for dropping a pass that would have given us a first down against Vanderbilt. So
Yeah. Uh,
a pass
that
in
one
which we were
actually,
throwing to the tight end out of the jumbo set, which is a thing we like to do this year.
yeah, and at least it wasn't picked off. And it was, dude, I mean, I just don't want to rehash it, but like the play design and execution was perfect until he doofed a wide open catch, you know.
Yeah, it was
Um,
brutal.
that said, that one stings a little.
Yeah,
They had high hopes for him and Deshaun Brame, for, going to the future. I've gotten a little black pilled, as y'all may have picked up on the idea that Tennessee is going to have this stud breakout tight end, the Ethan Davis thing.
he's going to be
Um,
good.
he's going to be great this year, man. He looks incredible in practice.
Does he have another year? Is he coming back?
Oh yeah, baby, he's coming
Yeah,
back.
that's what I thought. Yeah, he's going to be great this year.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, it's incredible. I've already read in the fall or winter, whatever. So he's just doing great in the locker room.
You can't deny that he looked good in November. He made vast improvement.
Okay. I mean,
I think he's going to be good this year.
3
I'm not
years
kidding.
in, good for him. He finally.
Some
3
guys
years
are
in, we're
late
talking
bloomers,
about him
man.
actually doing
Some
something.
guys are late bloomers.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I want it to be true. I'm just a little
It is.
skeptical.
That's going to be true.
So Van Dorselayer was talented, and we kind of stole him from his native state of Texas. I'm sure he'll end up back there. That just kind of bums me out a little. I'd like to see him get a chance to redeem himself after the Vandy catch and see what he turns into. But it also could be a budget cut again, right? He went into the portal really late.
Yeah,
And so it could be another one of those deals where, like, man, we gave you a bunch of money to secure you. We got nothing on that. We just got to go a separate direction. I'd be very unsurprised if that's what happened with him.
sure.
Have you read about the Georgia tight end we're bringing in?
Um, I have. I don't remember his name, but sounds. I mean, sounds great.
Well, it's just such a Tennessee thing, man. Like, yeah, he sounds like he's super talented. He was either a high 4 star or something, maybe even a 5 when he was a freshman, but he medically retired from football, and that's why he's not on Georgia's roster anymore. He may have had open heart surgery.
Hey, man, I've driven plenty of cars with a salvage title that have served me well over the years.
Serious and perfect.
Nothing wrong with
Killed
the
me.
title, man. Nothing wrong with the
You
salvage
have
title.
killed me. Yeah, I have too. He like gets stitched back up, and he's like, "I'm ready, coach. Put me in." And we're like, we will do that.
Coach, they totaled me out, but if you'll just fix my foot, I can play.
Yeah, this frame re-pulled and straightened out. I mean, and he hasn't signed or anything. They're just saying he's coming in. But like that's what it's like
Yeah.
to be a Tennessee fan. So, oh, he had open heart surgery. That's not great, but hey, he was a 5 star.
It was the most. I mean, even with Trey Smith, right? Who is like
Yes.
probably the one. Is he like the one football 5 star that you were just like lives up to the hype like from the get go? And dude had blood clots in his lungs. It's like this is just the most Tennessee thing ever. And now he blocks for Pat Mahomes, and he's like the best tackle in the NFL, but couldn't play for us for like 40% of a season because he had blood clots in his lungs.
He had a condition that he might die at any moment. Yeah, that's volatile. It's a terminal condition.
Yeah.
So we might get a great tight end. We may also watch him die on the field. It
Oh
Hank Gathers
gosh.
style.
Oh gosh. That would be
It's great to be a Tennessee law.
that would be a new Tennessee thing. As closest we ever got was Inky Johnson. That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So that was pretty bad. But
Is that
okay.
dead on portal?
Any that's what I was about to ask. Is there any additional news? I think that's all that we kind of had lined up
No,
to talk
it's
about.
apparently it's like a 4 or 5 day dead period. Players can still sign. I think players
Right.
can still go into the portal.
It's kind of
Obviously,
like
they
a no
can,
contact, right?
but they can't be in touch with them. So who knows? The Alabama lineman that we brought in signed with like Ohio State or something. Uh, Florida State just had 2 stud freshman defensive linemen go in the portal. At the last thing I read said the portal is kind of open now for like 5 more days, 3 more days, something small.
Yeah.
And there's 10,000 players still in the portal. And they're not entirely sure that all of them can even get on a roster by the time the portal closes. Of course, it's insane. Do you think we're anywhere near a player saying, "Oh my gosh, I could be left out in the cold like those guys were, so I might stick it out another year"? Or is the money and the tampering and the agents, is it just going to blow through all sense of caution?
I think unfortunately it'll blow largely through all sense of caution for the reason you said. You have agents and you have most of the transfers are younger, right? So you got 18 to 20-year-old kids who most of them grew up with nothing, you know. They don't have anything, they've never had anything. And
And
so
even
the
if they grew
process
up with something, the kind of money the top guys
yeah,
get is life
exactly.
changing.
Sure. Like, okay, your dad has a great job. He makes, $150,000 a year. That's nothing compared to this money, right? So you
Yep.
got an agent calling you up saying, I can get you, you know, $500,000 if you'll go in the portal. And then you got a bunch of kids that are left out to dry. So this is part of the tragedy of the portal is that if you're a top tier guy, it's great for you. This is great business. But if you're in that third or fourth tier of guys, you could this could be it for you. Like you could have
Yeah.
just played your last college football and didn't even know it when you entered the
Yeah.
portal. So because a
Or
lot of
you're
these guys
desperate.
will, yeah, some of these guys will. You'll have to be. You got 10,000 guys. Let's say half of them get a spot, so you got 5,000 more out there. You'll have probably what 10% of those guys that are so self motivated they'll stay in shape, stay healthy, maybe find a spot, go down to D2 or something to find a spot on a roster. You know, I don't know what the rules are for transferring to FCS. Maybe some of these guys can get on FCS roster. I don't know how that works, but a lot of these
Or
guys will
what the
just be
money's
done.
like,
Yeah,
right?
or
I
what
mean,
the
you may
money's
have
like.
left a gig making less than you think you should, and you end up on an FCS roster making whatever Bob's used car booster can pay
Sure,
you for an
can
NIL
pay you.
deal.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a double edged sword. I mean, I think pretty much all of college football and its fans are agreed that this is not sustainable, but it's where we're at right now, and it's going to be really bad for a bunch of young guys. So
Well, you said the thing about them being disciplined enough to stay in shape. I imagine you're going to have a rush in spring of a group of guys who are like, I'm going to get whatever I can get and get on a team to secure.
yeah,
Like if that was me, if I missed this fall window and I had something like, hey, we'll sign you day one on spring, but if you don't sign day one, we're done. I would take it, right, to make sure you had a
sure,
spot and make sure you had some money coming in. There'll probably be a rush in the spring. I'm with you in concluding that most people are going to say the gamble is worth it. And Rayola is probably not the guy. He's probably not prominent enough for it to be this. But if you had a scenario where Rayola, who's a former 5 star, gets left out in the cold, right? Everybody else kind of fills out their program. He ends up getting a gig at the last minute, making bupkis. That may, something like that. If he was a little bit more prominent,
yeah,
not Sam Levitt. Like Sam Levitt's not going to get left in the cold.
right,
But if you had a guy like that who just gets left in the cold and ends up taking a fire sale deal just to be on a roster next year, you may have a couple guys be like, this could get ugly really fast.
yeah. I mean, there will be stories written about that if something like that were to happen,
Yeah,
and that could move the needle. And it's probably just not going to be long either until you guys have suing, saying like the
sure.
portal's not open long enough for this. It's too much water trying to come through a small pipe at one time. We need more time. Um, I, I actually, there's obviously collateral damage. We talked about guys slipping through the cracks, which I think will happen, but you just need, if you're a fan that wants this to get fixed, you probably need more of that chaos. You need it to run off a
Hmm.
cliff so that they'll come in and finally try to fix it. So
Well, there was an SEC guy. I don't think it was Sankey, but he said something today about if the NCAA can't fix this and Congress is not going to pass the SCORE Act, and Congress seems to have no appetite for that. then we're going to have to figure
Oh,
this out
they're on their way
internally.
to Iran as we speak, I think. So
We should get Rubio to figure this out real quick. Send us an email, fix college football. Um, he
we
said,
just
we're
want
going to have,
100 barrels of oil. That's all we want.
well, here you're privileging the Texas schools again. Texas Tech
Uh,
wins again.
oh
Um,
gosh, that's right.
so anyway, the kind of the takeaway that this talking head was coming away from is, if this is going to have to be something that the SEC handles for itself and the Big Ten handles for itself, that seems to necessarily lead to the idea that these conferences are only going to compete with themselves, like internally, not SEC versus Big Ten, but like the Big Ten's internal mechanisms of control may not line up with the SEC's, and you don't know which one gives the competitive advantage. So you end up just saying like, well, this is the SEC. It's kind of what I said earlier. Like this is in a previous
Yeah,
episode, this is the SEC champion, and they
yeah.
may not play anybody else.
Back to
And
regional football. Yeah,
I'm here for that. Sign me up
yeah.
for that
I
right
mean,
now.
yeah. That would be better than the current situation. And then after some time, of course, those conferences will work together and figure out, okay, how do we get our champions together to play for a national championship or something
We
like that.
standardize systems and stuff like that. Yeah,
And like you
which would
said, we
then
get AFC and NFC all over again. Yeah,
sure, but that would also then give you the pardon me. That would give you the bones for whatever you replace the NCAA with. Right. So we go regional for a couple of years. They figure out how to integrate the mega conferences, and then the NCAA just gets to have March Madness, which is what they apparently only want to have anyway. All right.
okay. Let's shift to basketball if we have to. I guess we have to.
I'm
Let's shift
tired,
to
boss.
basketball.
I'm tired.
I'm tired, boss. Uh, Tennessee gets embarrassed by the Florida Gators, as we all pretty much said we thought would happen.
Yeah.
91-67. Um, everything outmatched, outclassed. They're more athletic.
Out
They played.
tough.
They played out tough. They out rebounded us. Play better. They just play better basketball. Um, they're a better team, at least right now. And
For sure.
I don't know if that's a margin that this team can make up.
Yeah.
But definitely sitting here middle of January, that's a much better basketball team. So, anything to say about that before we move on to A&M?
No, it just does not. It doesn't bode well. I mean, there were stretches at the A&M game, which I know we're about to talk to, but I was telling my son, who's a big UT fan, this team may have to make a deep run, if not win the SEC tournament, to get seeded. Like
Sure.
the Florida game left me real black pilled, and there was a big stretch in that A&M game that left me feeling like, oh, they're done. Like this is taking on water, and they're cooked.
Yeah.
And they rallied back, but I don't think that whole idea of them being cooked is off the table entirely.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was a win's a win. It was nice to see him gut out the A&M win, and we'll just go ahead and move on into A&M. But they did find a way to beat A&M in double overtime, 87-82. They pretty much won that game because Nate Ament kind of took over. So I would say that's the biggest pro of this game. I don't know if you thought that was the biggest pro, but anything to say about our buddy Ament?
It may be that Mac's sickness. So he went to the college that the current A&M coach came from, and like
Yes.
he's a huge fan of him. He's like, I didn't talk about any of that when we did the preview, so
Yeah.
maybe he's just trying to live that down for take a little break, get his head clear.
Yeah. This can be his punishment instead of eating chicken fingers, is us calling him out for that.
I still want to eat hot stuff. The point I guess I'm getting to though is that I thought the scouting report was pretty accurate. A&M is a team that we're custom built to be a problem for, and we weren't. So the free throw things, we just happened to play a team that also was terrible at the free throw line.
Oh, neither one of them wanted to win that game. It was so hard to watch.
Yeah,
It's one thing to watch a double overtime game when they're just going bucket for bucket. It's another thing to watch an overtime game where there's so many stoppages because of fouls, and no one can hit a free throw. Oh, it's just
Yeah.
like
I asked
nails on
Mac
a chalkboard.
at the time, like, how many players made 2 consecutive free throws for Tennessee? And at the late in the fourth quarter, it had been like Boswell and Gillespie did it once apiece.
Yeah,
And my thing about, like, teams don't deserve to win who don't hit free throws, it just ended up being that Texas A&M didn't deserve to win.
yeah. It ended up being that they missed more free throws than we did. Ament actually went to the line and hit some free throws at the end.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a positive, I can't be positive without a negative. If you're looking for the positive, I legitimately think that was a growth game for Nate Ament. Um, and I think you can build on that. Legitimately believe you can. The trouble is UT didn't really get their offensive feet under them until they went small and put Ament at power forward.
At the 4, yeah,
And so that makes sense for Nate Ament because we've talked already. I'm not sure he has the lateral or the foot speed to play on the perimeter. So it makes sense. Put him down, if not on the block, he's not going to play on the block, but put him on
let him
somebody.
go. Let him go in and out mid range. Yeah,
And if they're matching up, let him get a defender that wants to be closer to the basket, right? It's like
yeah,
it's a version of what they used to do with Kevin Durant back in the day with the Nets and Golden State.
right,
The problem with that is that's not how we want to play. And it shouldn't have worked against A&M. That should have played to A&M's strengths. It just didn't. And so, like, here again, do we retool the offense
right.
mid-season, middle of the conference play? Can we do that?
Yeah,
Can so when we get to Kentucky, Kentucky likes to bang down low. Well, this is a completely different scenario now, and your team's going to have to do something very different from what you've practiced up to this point. If you're going to do that, the team doesn't have an
and to
identity.
Mac's point, yeah, they don't have an identity. And to Mac's point, Ament playing the 4, well, you can probably get by against like an A&M, but he's just not going to match up well there for a lot of the other teams we're going to play down the stretch.
Yeah, and that's really where I was going with the identity thing. Like, they don't have an identity. If this is somehow best for Nate Ament and we won, and they try to chase it as an identity, I'm not sure that's a long term win either.
The
So
biggest
I'm
black
tired,
pill for
boss.
me in the game, actually probably more than the free throw shooting, because I did feel like they finally got it together and closed the game out at the line. I just thought Gillespie was pitiful, especially down the stretch, taking care of the basketball. And
Yeah,
it is hard. And that to me is such a black pill, because like that's Rick Barnes' thing,
yeah.
is like point guards and taking care of the basketball. And it seems here like there's a team that he's tried to build in a different way. And not even the old style of Rick Barnes basketball is working. It's like they don't, it's like you said, it's like they don't know who they are.
Mhm.
And I think ultimately that's coaching, right? And it's hard to talk a ton of trash about Rick Barnes because of what he's done for the program the last 10 years. I mean, it's, he's been good. But geez Louise, like watching Gillespie just throw it to nobody. My coach used to say about us when we would throw it out of bounds or make a bad pass or throw it to the other team when I was in high school. He'd said there was this imaginary guy named Fred that we try to pass the ball to. And we'd do that, and we'd be in the middle of a game, and he'd say, "There's Fred again. Quit throwing it to Fred." And I
Did you
just
ever
kept
tell
saying
him that?
that. I just kept saying that in my head. I was like, Gillespie's just throwing the ball to Fred the whole darn game.
Did
There's
you ever
just
tell your
no.
coach that Fred was open on that play?
No, I dare not. I didn't want to run 86 42s until I threw up. So
Yeah, man, I'm just with you. Gillespie had, I can't remember if it was going into the first overtime or the first overtime and the second, but at the final possession offensively for UT, he just threw the ball away twice, and one was like a reverse bounce pass drop off that it just went to the A&M guy. It had no hope of getting to the Tennessee dude, and I thought, like, this is a veteran point guard. What are we doing?
and like going airborne and having nowhere to go with the ball, and then you got to chuck it. Like that's middle school basketball stuff. Like you or not even be doing that in high school. Like you cannot leave your feet as the point guard unless you 100% have a plan with what you're going to do with that ball.
Yeah, and
Um,
even then, it's risky because the defense can move too.
Right,
Yeah,
and you're
it's
stuck
grammar
now.
basketball. Yeah.
You're now immobile, and they're still on the floor. So yeah, it was hard to watch. It was really frustrating. You never apologize for a win, but it was. I'd much rather. I think Max said this in the thread. I'd much rather have a junky win than a bad loss. So and I think he's right. That's true, but it's still hard to watch. And even though they won, you still don't have much hope for what's coming down the stretch, which leads us to kind of our last talking point, which is the Kentucky Wildcats are are playing us this Saturday. That's a home game. Is that right? Are they coming to Knoxville?
I didn't check that, Nick. I'm not sure.
I should know that. I will check it real quick. But while I'm doing that, while I'm checking on that, we got Kentucky at 11. It is Saturday at ESPN. I did look. The ESPN predictor does have Tennessee winning by a good chunk. I think they were mid 60s, like 65% chance to win that game, 66, something like that. But what are you thinking about the Wildcats?
Well, I think on paper that's true. Now, on paper, this is just the funniest place to be. If you can't root for a great basketball team, you can enjoy Kentucky failing miserably at their high expectations.
Yeah.
And this team has been a dumpster fire this year. A lot of people call him for Pope's job. It's widely reported that roster is a $22 million roster,
Whew.
and we don't always have the numbers on this, but AI says that kind of the baseline for most good teams is somewhere around $10 million. They may reach up as high as 15, and so you've got Kentucky doubling that up, and they're pitiful. They're just not good. Now that
Some
being
more
said,
perspective too is I think that Ohio State's national championship football team was like a $20 million salary
yeah,
last
it
year
was a big deal.
roster.
Yeah, it was a huge deal.
So
Um, it's been a minute, but they said that the same AI researcher said that Calipari's last year at Kentucky, it was a $4 million roster.
wow.
And so it's just been a complete all systems failure for Kentucky basketball, and I'm here for it. There may be some, there's people who root for Tennessee in football and Kentucky in basketball. I don't know how you sleep at night, but
I don't either.
uh,
Those people are. That's a Benedict Arnold thing, man. That's
yeah,
traitors. That's
if
traitors.
anybody in Mac's family does that, we just lost like most of our viewership. But that being said, I don't know how you sleep at
Give
night.
give Max family more credit than that. They're VFLs through and
Yeah,
through.
yeah, I just don't know all
That
the
game
specifics
that
of it.
game is at in Thompson Bowling Arena at
Oh,
Food
that
City
bodes well.
Center.
Yeah, that's good for us. I mean, yeah, we should beat Kentucky. We should beat Kentucky fairly handily.
Yeah,
I
they've not
just
been
don't.
good.
I don't have a lot of confidence yet in this Tennessee team. I'm not sure that I can get there. And to your point about Texas A&M, I've learned this with the football program over the years. Tennessee can win a game, and you come out feeling worse about it. Maybe not
Yeah,
worse than a loss, but you're like, I believe in this team less after they won that game.
yeah,
Uh, and that's kind of what A&M did on the basketball side.
yeah. So some of the hard facts about Kentucky this year. They do have a decent field goal percentage. They've shot around 49%. Um, so sorry, 48%, and Tennessee has shot 49%. So
Okay. Yeah. Let's
yeah,
keep going. I'll
yeah.
take that.
Um, they rebound about 36 rebounds per game, which is pretty pitiful. So this should be a game where Tennessee gets on the glass and out rebounds them, but they should do that. But you don't know who's going to show up. So I mean,
Well, and like Estrella has apparently taken a huge step back since
yeah,
last year. I mean, I know injury is part of all that, but dude, he just doesn't look like a guy who feels confident in anything he's doing on the floor.
yep,
So, Carey will still be there, Okpara will still be there. I just don't have much confidence in any of the bigs behind them. That freshman kid who is it Richardson? What's his name? He had a big shot against A&M. I can't remember nothing. Um, he's been a pleasant surprise playing as a true freshman. But I'd like to have Cade Phillips back. I'd really like
Sure.
to have Cade Phillips back.
I'm telling you, buddy, he's the glue guy. Mac's not here to argue with me. And listener, you heard it here first. Don't forget that I said when Cade Phillips got hurt, we were cooked. And I stand by that.
I'm glad to co-sign that. I'm a big Cade
I
respecter.
stand by
So
that. There's a lot of guys that can't give you as much on the floor as other guys, but they can give you everything they got. And that's Cade Phillips. He's a glue
yeah,
guy. He's
well
galvanized
said.
the team.
Well said.
So he is the new Dame Bradshaw. He is the
Well,
new Dame Bradshaw.
that seems unfair to Cade, but yeah, okay, I'll take it.
Hey, don't be hating on Dame.
It's better
Cade
than
Phillips
Stephen
is a
Pearl.
Cade Phillips is a better basketball player than Dame Bradshaw, but Dame Bradshaw was a guy like that. Gave you his all hustled
Yeah,
glue
yeah, he's
guy.
a VFL. Yeah, he's a VFL for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't have anything else
So
on Kentucky. They're not very good. We should beat them, but we're not very good. So I have no idea if we'll beat them.
yeah, I mean we should. Like we are a better team, even as bad as we've been playing. But I mean they've won 6 basketball games. I think they're 1-2 in conference play. Um,
Put it in my
you know
veins, Nick Duncan. I'm glad to hear it.
they did beat Mississippi State. Um, so
Ooh,
yeah,
go
they've
Big Blue.
they've scored 80 to 85 points per game the last few weeks. Um, they scored a whopping 99 against Bellarmine,
Oh, tough Bellarmine squad. Tough out
but
right there.
Bellarmine also scored 85 on them. They have been defensively really bad.
Well, good
Uh,
thing we're known to really punish people who can't
I was about to
who
say
can't
the
guard
bad
us.
thing is we are offensively very bad. So it's gonna be
This could be the ugliest game we've ever seen.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Um, yeah, they're not very good. They don't. I read something that said they just. It seems like they probably haven't been able to gel. I don't know if that's too much money in everybody's head or what, but they don't move the ball around a lot of me ball, not a lot of team ball. Um, and Tennessee at least doesn't play that way. So
Sure.
um, just win,
We're
just be
winning on
Kentucky.
good vibes. We're
Just
gonna
be just you're at home. You're both playing bad basketball. They're bad at defense. You should be able to score enough points in your own house to beat a bad Kentucky team.
you guys
And
like
so,
each other and respect your head coach.
yeah.
Come on, guys.
So I don't know. What's your final prediction? You think Tennessee wins that game?
Yeah, I'd say I'm guessing it'd be a low scoring game. Maybe both teams are sniffing in the 80s. Maybe one team's a little under,
Yep.
and Tennessee basically wins on home court.
Tennessee's favored. Various betting agencies have them at 6.5 to 9, -6.5, -9. You're probably getting a couple points, 2 or 3 points for being at home. So that's probably on a neutral floor, more like a 3 to 6 point favorability. So they're thinking a possession or two.
Mhm.
If that happens, that's probably going to happen late. It'll
Yeah, I
probably
could
be
see
back
an
and forth.
80-71 win, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that seems very feasible.
yeah.
Just don't
Tennessee
fire
gets.
Mark Pope, man. You got to give him time. Stick with Mark Pope, Kentucky
Yep,
fans.
he's going to be good. He's going
He's
to be
going to be
good. I
good.
think.
Hang in there.
Yep. I hope that they should give him an extension so that him and the recruits all feel more comfortable.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, they need to have stability.
Yeah. I mean, they just
Did
lost
you see?
Calipari. They don't want to just toss out the new guy right off the bat. So
Yeah, and he's Kentucky royalty, man. You
that's
can't do
right.
that to a Wildcat for life. Did you
That's right.
see their football team released a promo image that said "brick by brick"?
I did, and I loved it.
I love it so
I
much.
loved it.
I love it so much.
As a Tennessee fan, you know that a program, if they haven't reached the bottom, they're about to when they start posting brick by brick.
Yeah.
So
Get ready for Central Arkansas live, Kentucky. Just make sure you don't let Pope get away. There's going to be a lot of programs coming for him. Lock him
yeah.
up
So as terminal as it is to be a Tennessee fan, it's better than being a Kentucky fan. So
every day of the week.
all the time. So all right. I think that's hit about everything that we had to talk about this week. Wanted to talk about this week. Anything else on Tennessee football or basketball? Do we have a baseball countdown? It cannot be
30
long.
days, baby. 30
Let's
days.
let's
We're in the
go.
window.
Let's go. Josh Elander and the boys take the diamond. 1 month.
Yeah, one
All
thing
right.
they retired on baseball real quick. They retired the cream ball jerseys, and I think it's the
Oh,
most
that's
aesthetic.
true. I'm glad you brought that up. It is tragic, and Mac is probably right. So, baseball is the sport that I played the most from the time I was, toddling around until I graduated high school. And everybody who's played knows it's the most superstitious sport. And Tennessee was never good in the creams. They usually wore them on Sundays, and their record's pretty pitiful in the creams. So I guarantee you that's why they got rid of those jerseys. But man, they look slick. I love those cream jerseys.
Me too, man. And apparently, they're going to wear a cream jersey at some point that has Tennessee. Um, I don't know, man. It was just a good look. It may not have played well on the field, and that's a good reason to get rid of it, I guess. But it's probably the most aesthetically pleasing jersey, unless the traditional orange tops and white pants is
It's
goat for
goaded. Yeah,
historic reasons.
sure.
But beyond that, just pure aesthetics, it was the cream balls jerseys, and I hate to see them go.
Yeah. Something about them orange britches. So,
All right, man, I'll quit prolonging it. You gonna tell us what
well,
the social media is?
yeah. Listener, viewer, you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on anywhere you can find podcasts, your big ones, Spotify, Apple. You can follow us on X at volatile underscore 1998. And so check us out. Check out the episode. New episodes every week. We appreciate you going through this with us because we are all sick, unfortunately, and it is terminal.